This mock court is now in session. Good morning, everybody. We will begin with prosecution opening statements.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Liz Fowler and I represent the American court case along with my colleagues. We intend to prove that Michael S. Rogers, along with the National Security Agency, is guilty of violating the natural human right to privacy. Here are the facts of this case. In June of 2013, Edward Snowden revealed the truth that our government has been hiding from us for years. The truth that they have been violating our constitutional rights since 2001. The National Security Agency was originally for our protection, but the prosecution will prove to you that NSA has been breaking statutes that were enacted to protect the people's liberties and are guilty of the violation of the right to privacy. In order to protect our liberties, one of America's fundamental ideologies is that no one can be above the law. Yet, the prosecution has found various legal violations executed by the NSA. Their arbitrary searches are unconstitutional and violate the 12th article of the Declaration of Human Rights. In addition, they break legislation that were specifically created to protect online users, such as Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Furthermore, they cause corporations to break their legal contracts regarding privacy to their customers, which occurred in the Dougherty versus NSA case. Despite any benefits the NSA might have to offer, we cannot allow them to go unpunished for their violation of privacy, because power unchecked will naturally be subject to corruption and abuse. In order to protect all our liberties, the NSA must be punished for blatant disregard for the law. Members of the jury, the defense is going to attempt to paint an illusion that a world where the NSA can't read your emails will be a world where 9/11 happens every other day. That is simply just not the case. Ever since the beginning of the war against terrorism, the United States has been cracking down on terrorist organizations. We have defeated Al-Qaeda and captured Osama bin Laden. The defense will attempt to generate fear in your hearts in order to trick you into giving up your personal liberties. Do not let them sway you. Do not let them take away your rights, and do not let them obstruct you from your freedom without being held responsible for their actions. Thank you.
Okay, opening statement for the defense.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
In 1998, we were back on land. In 2000, we were hit in sea. In 2001, they hit us in the air. 3,000 American citizens were murdered in cold blood, and our forward deployed are continuing to be slaughtered. Today, we are going to prove to you why the NSA is vital and necessary for the protection of all of us. 62% of Americans believe that the investigation of terrorist organizations is more important than privacy. And that was done by the Pew Research Center back in 2015. Americans believe this because they know that the NSA program is watching them. The NSA knows the phone numbers, the area codes, and the locations of known terrorists throughout the globe. They take the sender and recipient identities of people in America and reference them to those numbers of known terrorists and decide whether those numbers are innocent or not. And I have a quote from President Obama. And he said, what the intelligence community is doing is looking at phone numbers and durations of calls. They are not looking at people's names, and they are not looking at content. Now, to give you an example of something like this that's happened in real society, we take you back to 2012 in Milpitas, California, which is about 30 minutes away from where we are. A 7-Eleven store was robbed by 4 males, and the store clerk did not resist. He surrendered. He led them directly to the safe. He gave them all the $200 that was in that safe, and a pack of cigarettes. But instead of walking out of that 7-Eleven store that night, one of those males decided that it'd be a good idea to brutally execute this storage building. Now the police, they had no evidence of anything. The robbers' faces were masked. There were no fingerprints and no leads. Except they were able to find social media chatter, people talking about this homicide that happened at the 7-Eleven, the dark, cold night in 2012. And they were able to get enough substantial evidence to get a warrant from the federal court to get a warrant for their phone numbers. And looking at their phone numbers, they were able to get enough evidence to actually prosecute these people for murder and to wait a trial. Now the NSA the NSA only uses sender and recipient identities, like I said, which my opponent is saying, well, we'll say it's lawful, and it's okay. But they will say that possessing and using the content of those messages is illegitimate, unconstitutional, and overreaching. The NSA, they do possess such information, but they do not use that information without going through the proper legal channels, just like Milpitas Police Department did to find those murderers that killed that 7-Eleven code. I have another quote from President Obama. He said, if the Intelligence Committee actually wants to listen to a phone call, they have to go back to a federal judge, just like they would in a criminal investigation. Now, the prosecution, they want to use words like perpetrators, villains, for the NSA. But these people are heroes and guardians of America. Any person, group of persons, organization that makes it 4 times more likely to be struck by lightning than to be killed in a terrorist attack is deserving of names like that. Thank you.